All right, so just wanted to go over some of these things from start to finish with Autodrive, and then I'll also touch on Courseplay a little bit too, so that you understand a little bit of both. And then, so when you start here, it says should Autodrive generate a route network? So basically, if you do, it's going to set up its own road system through the entire map. Which is nice, so you have the choice to be able to let it do it for you. But if you're using like custom maps, those who make some of these modded maps, they don't build the road system very well, and they only build it for the AI. So you may have to go through and edit some of those points. But on this map, because it's made by giants, it should have a pretty decent road system here. So what I'll do is I'm not going to generate it, and I'll show you how their road system works, and then I'll pause it, and then I'll go back into the same map, and then I will show you how to build a road system and get to your question about it not returning. So, and then, like I said, I'll touch on Courseplay, but then also I'll show you how to set up some of the offloads to make it a lot easier, and then some just basic road building. So I'm gonna go ahead and select. Should Autodrive generate? Oh, geez. Now I'm confused. So yes, yes. So let's do yes. So I need a vehicle. Where's the dealership at? So, actually, we gotta do this here. I need some money. Now, I usually don't use the cheats unless I really have to. So, like a field doesn't get completed properly or something like that. Let's see here. Let's do. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, that should be good there. And then I'm going to need a trailer too. So we'll go ahead and pick up a trailer right away. And I'm going to need a harvester because I'm going to show you exactly how to get some of that going too. Actually, I probably don't need it for this one right now because I'm going to pause it and redo it. So yeah, let me just do this. Alright, so to show the road system, you have to be in a vehicle. Your controller should be able to activate Autodrive. I forgot what button it was because I've erased it off of my mapping, but geez, I haven't done this in a while, so I believe it's all the keypads are right? Yep. Alright, so Autodrive comes up, and let me just show you some of the basic functions here. So what we're going to do is just kind of to change the view a little bit. So the GUI scale, I'm going to make it really big. So we'll do 130 should be, so this will make it bigger. And then line height, so I'll show you that in 1 second here. And then I want to see, right now it's going to make it as a square. I prefer a rectangle. What the hell is that? Show next path, tooltips, markers. Wide HUD, here we go. So yes, I prefer a wide HUD. Alright, so I'm going to keep it this big. And so to show the lines on the system, so this is what it did for you. It automatically generated a path for you through the game. But I found it easier to do above tractor. I'll turn it back on. And so now you can actually see the road system a little bit better. And basically what this did was you're going to see that it has these green lines. So there's two different paths you can make, is a two-way road system and a one-way road system. So yes, this is a two-way road system, but this is a one-way going one direction, one way the other way. And then you see how it had these, you know, these little turns going in each lane, and each lane has an out and an in. You know, so those have to be built in order for you to get to these roads, or you can do something, you can build a one-way road system and then go into your menu which this is kind of what I prefer to do too, is turn off vehicle traffic. Where the hell is vehicle traffic at? Traffic, there we go, off, back. So now this is nice to have a two-way road system, you know, where you have both lanes of traffic. But when you start running into, you know, bigger vehicles, bigger implements, you end up sometimes getting stuck on some of these corners, or a tree, or a light pole. You know, imagine you coming through here with your harvester and a trailer. Even though this is built really nice, it may cut this corner too sharp, depending on its speed, and we'll get in, you know, get into issues of getting stuck and whatnot. So, what I prefer to do is build a single road system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it right here, and then I'll edit it back in, and I'm going to show you how to build your own road system and add your points of interest, show you how to make a dual loop, and I'll go over some like harvesting with the Autodrive, and then I'll go over some harvesting with the Courseplay also, so that you understand how to use both. And just the basics alone will get you through this game, or get you using, you know, these two mods a lot better. But right now, if I set this vehicle to go somewhere, so this is our point of interest. I have nothing to go to, so I have to build new. So let me just pause this right here. I'm going to reload this map and not generate a course, and then build one myself. Alright, so we're back here, and what I'm going to do is not have it generate a route. So just hit no, and let's go to the dealer here. Oh, I need money first. So do this, bring this up. Need a bunch of money. Now, oops, and large tractors. So we'll do this. And we'll go and buy myself a trailer. And that should be good there. And let's go ahead and buy the harvester right away. And we'll just pick this one. Actually, let's just do this one standard. I guess we'll just leave it all just regular base stuff, no problem there. Bye. Yes. And then do a header. So transport wheels, yes. And that should be good right there. Alright, so well, I'm gonna have to do all this work. Just let me change this real quick here. Tractor. Wide HUD, yes. Wide back. Alright, so turn this on. See, we have no road system whatsoever. So what I will do is I will build myself a quick road system over to actually I'll make some closer. The wrong buttons. Alright, so let's that should be a grain mill, right? Yeah. Alright, so 41, 43. Let me just alright, so we'll just do 41. Let's buy 41. Alright, so I'm going to build a quick road system here. So now, another quick setting here is auto connect. I'll show you that in a second here. It's not too hard ahead of myself. So what I was saying here, what we got are different options. So this is a single direction road that we're going to build right here. So if I just want this vehicle just to go in this path, it's just going to go in this path. And I forgot to turn off traffic. Settings, vehicle traffic off. Alright, so So if I do this, it's only going to do this road. It has auto connect, but I don't think it auto connects it. Alright, yeah, so it won't auto connect here. So what you'd have to do is do something like this. So, alright, before I do that. So you're going to left click your mouse on the end dot or the beginning dot, doesn't matter, but it matters for what direction you're going to want this tractor to go. So I'll get into that for a little second. But one click here, and you see how it's going to connect there, so you'd have to press another click, and we've just completed that loop. So while I'm here, just to make and when you're done, forget to turn it off. Don't forget to turn it off because it will make more markers. And if you make a mistake, so what we have here is a mistake that I made, which is good that I have. So if you see this little red line, this is connected to this one. So it will delete that one. Now if I press it too quick, I'll delete that one by accident. I actually want to delete this one right here. So I'm just going to move it back until it connects to it. Alright, there we go. And I'll delete that one. So there we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick here is just make a point of interest, which will be this one right here. Create and edit, and we'll just name it deliver. So, wait for it. And if I hit power, turn on, it's going to add it. So, point of interest first has to be selected. So, that's my destination. Turn it on. It's going to follow this path until it gets to the point that I just made. And then while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you another function. So, corner speed. There we go. So, depending on if you have like a long straight path and it starts coming up to a corner, and you have trailers that like to tip, so what you can do is it will actually slow itself down for those corners and then get back to 100% speed. Or you can actually select this. This is for your vehicle, so it'll travel at 1 mile an hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up until its max speed. But because it's taking a turn, it's actually going to slow down naturally, unless it's on a long path. So, and then this one right here, and I'll show you that one a little bit later. This is for your harvester approach speed. So when I have a trailer attached, I'll show you how that works a little later. But here, let's just lower this down to 1 mile an hour. I got to move it forward just a little bit, so it's at the next point. And it's still there. All right, so now I see how it's only going at 1 mile an hour. Let's see, increase it. And the reason why I got out from its little path was because it started going a little faster. So, alright, so basically that's done right there. That's like the basics. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to delete these real quick here. So I don't know if I can use these. So what I'm going to do is build a roadway. So let's see what I'm going to do straight. Okay, that was my turn. So let's do this actually. So what I prefer to do instead of building a 2-lane road is build a 1-lane road, because like I said before, we're going to be using large implements eventually and things get stuck. And so I'm going to right click. So as I go along this road, you're going to see it's not green anymore, but it's blue. So the blue means this tractor can go up and down this road in any direction. When it's green, it can only go in the direction of the arrows. So you'll see that when I make a turn over here. So I'm just going to and then we're going to build eventually turns to go into the sections, but I'm only going to do a couple turns just to get the basics down. And editing this map like this will take a while. A couple hours of investments just makes the rest of the game more smooth. And I'm not gonna try to do this perfect like I would for my own map, but you'll get the general idea. So take a left. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is, knowing that I gotta take a left, I would normally continue this. Actually, yeah, let's just make a left. So here, I'm just gonna stop this right here. Go ahead and stop it. Alright, so I think I still have auto connected, so we'll see. So if you're too close, if you're close enough, it'll automatically connect it. Alright, see how it did that? I don't want that. So what I like to do is, start and end. Oh, yeah, so you can do it at the end, auto connect at the end. It's just hundreds of hours of playing this, and I have all this turned off, so I don't like auto connecting. So what I do, so I'm going to move forward just a little bit to start this road where I want it, because we're trying to avoid, holes and whatnot. And so I will do this, right click again, start a new section. Then I'm actually going to stop this section here. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do an inlet and an outlet. And this video might get a little long, so I'll just bear with me with this. So what I like to do here now is, so I'm going to make an outlet and then an inlet. So always start 3-1 to go to. So if I want to go make an outlet there, I'm going to start here. If I want to make an inlet here, I'm going to start on these nodes. So I'm going to left click, and I'm going to go and point to the node that I want to do. Sometimes it depends on which one you choose. These may get a little funky, and if they do look all weird looking, just try to pick a different node or erase a couple. Or what you can do is actually, you can move these around by holding right click. See how that right click, and I can move it left, right, up, down, whatever, to kind of make it a little bit more to my liking. So I'm gonna make 2 outlets here. Actually, so let's start this. I like nice wide outlets, and so what I'm just doing here is I'm scrolling. That'll create my angle. So, and then I click on the node to finish it. And then, now what I do is I just do the same inlet and outlet. So now I want it to go from here to here. So I'm going to go from here, and you see how the arrows are changing? So now I have an out and an in. Do the same thing here. That should look pretty decent. And, alright, so I just created myself a way to get into this road and out of there. And then I go over here, and I'm going to right click again, and because it doesn't have an auto connect, it's just going to make me start again. So what I'm doing, I'm going to press here to there to here to change it back to blue. So if I just wanted something, and you got to be careful sometimes, because it'll make a one-way road if you're only clicking once. So because, if I'm making a two-way road, click here, there, and there. And then if I want to delete it, I go here, there we go. See how I just deleted that path? So you just click on it, boom, boom, right here, there. Very easy. So I screw something over here. Now I can continue on the path. this road all the way around. So if you don't build a complete road system, what's going to happen is when you select this to go somewhere, that red line that I was showing you will auto-connect to whatever it is closest to. So if something's across the map, I'm just going to stop this one right here. If something's across the map, it will connect to whatever it wants to. So you may run into issues where if you don't have a proper road system built, it's going to connect somewhere and your vehicles are going to go off the field, it's going to go run into buildings or whatever. So building your main road system does a lot for you in the beginning. Like I said, it's going to take a while to do it, but it's better to to invest that time right off the bat. And get it done, right the first time, and then you have less worries, Let me adjust this last one. Right, so actually that doesn't work too well. See, I have a pretty sharp corner here, which isn't too bad. But if I wanted to, I could just move this over and see how it's connected like that. I'm just going to keep it like this. And see if I can make it nice and wide. There we go. So, yeah, she'll swim pretty decent there. And that's good for that corner, especially with a large one. So here, yeah, so what I try to do is you can connect this one. Okay, so even though they're all going in one direction, let me just double check. I think I did suppose so. Okay, yeah, I did screw that. Alright, so to connect them all to the main one here that is at the end. So that way, if you have it, if you had this one connected in a different direction, it's not going to want to go this way. It'll automatically take a different path because it doesn't have the correct route. So make sure they're all connected into this one, because this is your decider right here, whatever you call it. But this will go, okay, I need to go to the left, so I'm going to take a left. But if I connected one to here and it only has a path here, but the next one is an arrow moving down, it's going to get confused and not know what to do. So doing that right the first time helps you immensely. So get out of here. I'm talking too long. Try to make this as short as possible. Connect and just connect this one to this one. There we go. And that should be the green one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a path into the grain mill. I'll do that after I finish connecting this road all the way around. Stop this. then, while I'm thinking about it, so I'm pushing down on my scroll to bring my mouse up on the screen. So that's what brings. If you forget to not click your mouse, you can't turn your camera. You can move, but you can't turn your camera. So you got to re-click your mouse back down to reactivate your camera. So now we'll go back and finish the rest of this road. And then, yeah, some of your roads you may have to go through and re-edit, you know, if they aren't working right, which, you know, doesn't take too long. But trying to get this down the first time is a complete chore. Do this. Out. In. Now, the corner's pretty deep. Nice and wide. Go. Alright, so we have a path in and out. Dealer all the way through. So let's make a point of interest while I'm here. So this is going to be field 41. Alright, so what we're going to do here is this is your edit tool, like we did before. So I'm going to call this just 41. You can name it whatever the hell you want, doesn't matter. So there. Now I've created a point of interest, and I forgot to create a dealership. That's alright. So now, I should have done. Damn it. I forgot to put the trailer. So I'm just going to bring this over to 41 while I'm doing this. I'm going to have to go back. Actually, I can edit with this, so that's fine with me. So now what I was talking about before was, you see how that red line right there is connected over there? So that is where it's going to try to connect to first. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send this guy to 41. But before I do that, I'm actually going to just create another point of interest. Go ahead and edit, call it dealer. Okay, now I want to send this one over to 41. Turn it on, and now it's automatically going to go to 41. So what I need to do here is, while that guy is coming here, I'm actually going to make an inlet and an outlet here. So, real quick, depending on the room that you have, if it's covered or not, this is going to be a little path in and out. So I don't like that turn in because it's pretty sharp, so I will here, and it's actually better if I have a trailer. Crop destruction time. So yeah, if I had a trailer, damn it. So when you have a trailer on, it's easier to figure out your drop points. That way you can automatically figure out where your trailer is going to be and where that point of interest is going to be. Because if you put the point of interest on the offload site itself, what's going to happen is it may not offload correctly, or it may not offload at all. So what I'll do here is grab this trailer and then I'll set it back. I should have done that. So let's go grab this trailer. Okay, and if you're a decent, distance away, be perfectly fine. It's going to connect, like I said, to the most closest one. So the problem with this is it may run into something. See how I just did that? So this is why I said if I had a path going in here or whatever, it would actually pick a path going around. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to do a full go. So now it's going to, oh darn. That's weird that it stopped back there. It should have stopped right there. Oh, no. It's restricted. How is it doing? That is where it's never done it. Alright, I'm running into a weird problem. I've never seen it do this before. So, huh, okay. So it just got confused for some reason. I must have, I don't know what the hell I did, but it got confused. Figured it out. We move on. So, let me get this guy out of the way here and get him set up to do a feed. And I probably screwed that up too. Don't mind me, just being a retard. Alright. This right here. Alright, so there goes my truck. Let's do that. Let's get the harvester unfolded. And you see that little ding that says it's reached its location. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is build myself a little path going into the grain. So, start my inlet. Now for grain mills, offloading, whatever it is, I generally like to build a one-way road. So we're just going to do a left click here, we're going to start that, and this is going to make it go in the direction that I want it to, in only one direction. So you see the arrows pop up. Now what I'm going to do is just go a straight path after this turn. Now, I don't want to make this point right here. I actually want this point to be up here somewhere, because what'll happen is it'll think it wants to offload here. So if you do it here, it's just going to stop and say, hey, I'm at the grain mill. No, yes, I know you're at the grain mill, but I want you to offload, and it'll do it automatically for you. So what I like to do is just do a couple more, and that should be perfect right there. So we're going to name this grain mill offload. It's grain mill 1, 2, so now I'm just going to continue on, make a turn out of here, nice and sharp. Then do this. Let's see if I can get one more. Alright, there we go. So now that's a little too close for what I like, so I'm going to right click, bring it back a little bit, right about there. Turn this off. Okay, left click. Build a nice little outlet. Oh no, we see now, that's right. So I'm only building an out, not an in. So it can go this way or it can go that way. That way when it comes in, it's not going to try to come in from this direction. It's going to only go into that direction and offload properly. So we'll come over here. Finish this one out. So now I want it to either come from this direction or this direction. So now it has a in from two directions. So now let's do this. Now I'll show you. So I think I can touch real quick on how you get your vehicle if it was just stopping and not going somewhere. So this is how I would do it. Alright, so I'm going to get this done off real quick and show you that while I'm doing that. So let's go ahead and fill up this trailer. Is it there? No, oh, right there. So let's fill this up. Alright, so what I wanted to do is, now we're going to use this here. So this is just driving down the road. You can use any of these functions to send it somewhere. So what I wanted to do is, we're going to pretend 41 is a fill point, or just my point of interest. Or actually, is it this one? There we go. Yeah. So 41 is going to be my pretend fill point. Say I have a silo and I'm filling this up with wheat. And then I want it to offload at the grain mill, and then I'm going to select wheat or whatever the hell I've got here. So wheat, and I believe if this works right, it should stop at 41, or it may even bypass 41. But let's just go ahead and send it to offload, and I'll show you exactly. Okay, so it's going straight to the grain mill offload. So what I probably should have done was use the but at least I'll show you real quick how it slows down, and before it gets to the stop point, it's actually going to offload nicely. It's going to offload, and then it will stop right here to say it's finished. Actually, no, that's right. Now it's going to go to 41. So yeah, this is how you do it with. I was correct, just thinking the wrong way because I had a phone. So like I said, if you have a silo or something and you line it up, to fill it in your silo, once it fills, and it can do it automatically, you can send it to your silo and you select the fill point with wheat or barley or whatever's in your silo, it'll automatically take it out for you. Fill up your trailer, and then once your trailer registers and it's full, it'll go to your grain mill or whatever that you send it to. It'll go and sell it, offload it, and it'll just keep making that loop over and over and over. Excuse me. So it should stop right at 41. So now it's technically waiting to be offloaded, or it's technically waiting to be filled up. So now this should work if I fill it. Give it a second to recognize. It should. Yep. Alright. So it's just going to go ahead and offload. It'll just be on a freaking loop over and over again. So because if you had this just set to just to dump your offload, it'll go there and it'll just stop at the grain. That's all it's going to do. It'll stop and it won't go back. 99% of the time when I'm doing this, I don't really, unless I'm filling, from the silo and going to sell my stuff, I don't really use the loop option. I send my vehicle somewhere, it'll hit that point, and then I switch back over to that vehicle, and I kind of manually, tell it what to do each and every time. So let's send it over to 41. So what I'll do is I'll just refill this up, and then I'll show you one last time. I know it seems kind of redundant what I'm doing here. But explain it does help a little bit better. So let's go ahead and just refill the trailer up here. And since it's off, turn it back on. It should recognize it. Oh, I'm at 41. Duh. So, grain mill, offload. Boom. So what it'll do is it will offload, and it'll move forward to the grain mill point of interest or checkpoint, whatever you call these damn things, and it'll just stop and wait. And for most of the time, you know, when I'm doing stuff, I'm not selling my entire, you know, load. I'm just offloading something, and then I'll come back to that vehicle and I'll send it back to wherever I need it to go. So there is some manual input in this. What I'm showing you right here is just a few different ways, you know, to make it move through and go back to, you know, to where you want it. And then, I'm trying to think here. No, never mind. So now once it's done, it should move forward. Actually, no, it's connected with the green. Okay, nope, yeah, it's gonna move forward. There you go. So now it's done. And so if I was out doing something or whatever and I ding, okay, cool. So then I'll just send this, you know, back to my home. And then, you know, that's just a couple seconds, you know, helps out immensely. So what I'm going to do here now is, I own this field yet. So now we have a few ways we could run this field. We could let the AI do it. And what it's going to do is, and then I'll probably speed up this section just to let it, just so you don't have to watch me freaking harvest the whole field, is I'll show you when it calls this truck over here. So now this is going to be really useful because what we're going to do here is actually set this up to fill this and then take it to the green room. So we will set this to the harvester. So if this isn't set here, I'll show you something. So see, there's no driver with the same target available. So this and this have to be connected by the same point that this is waiting for. They interconnect on this point right here. So if you had like field 52 and this is on field and this is on grain mill, it's not going to do anything. So I want to select 41 on this one. This doesn't matter. And I'm going to select back over to this one. I'm going to select the harvester option. And then field 41, grain mill. So if I had just grain mill, see, driver with no target. So we're going to set this back to 41. And then now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to back this up a little bit. Alright, so press play. Now it's going to go to 41. You could have your vehicle at your farm or somewhere on the road. It'll automatically drive there once you have the road system down, and now it's waiting for the call. So it's waiting for this guy to actually fill up. So what we'll do here, and okay, so I'm going to show you Courseplay at the same, you know, after I let AI do one, I'm going to show you Courseplay, how we can make it work a little bit better, because this can get funky sometimes where this will go out, it'll collect your the load from the harvester, but then it'll sit in the field, and we do have some settings for that in Autodrive where, so what we want to do here is here look for, okay, no, not there, about tractor, no, is it here, and saddles, I'm going ahead, alright, thinking too fast corner, okay, park and field. So you generally don't want it to park in the field. So I like to select no, and then there's another one to go closest point. Where the hell is it? Cycle auto control position. No, that's not it. Connect. Okay, I'm lost here for a second. I know, I'm sorry. Parking field, no. Cycle pickup delivery. And automatic refuel. Okay, since I'm right here, automatic refuel and repairing, turn those off. It's going to search for like a gas station. If you have a road that goes into a gas station, it will actually go up to it, but you got to build that road or that path correctly. And so when it's running low on gas, it will actually drive out of the field, go get gas, come back, and recontinue what it's doing. Same thing with repairing. It'll drive to a dealership if you have the road set up to go into a workstation. Just turn those off, repair them on your own. It will automatically do whatever it needs to do. Since I'm in the menu here, automatic trailer covers, you know, no, yes, that's if it'll turn trailer cover, it'll cover the trailer or it'll uncover the trailer. So it'll cover the trailer until it needs to be offloaded or until it's getting loaded. and then it'll close the trailer back up, go to the grain mill, open the trailer, dump it, close the trailer. I just turn it off or on, whatever, doesn't matter. Unload position. So this is when you're on that platform, unload off, unload to the center of the platform, unload to the left. That's more like dealing with the tip side, and I just leave that off for the most part. And then let's find the damn field. Okay, here we go. Field exit. That's what I was looking for. So right now is default. These work on and off. They don't work the greatest, but usually what you want to do is closest point. So what it'll do is it'll select the closest point and it'll exit to that area, which is one of those road nodes. And then, since I'm seeing it, so unload fill level. So we can set this trailer to unload at 85%, 60, 50, 40, 30, or whatever. Perfectly fine. Keep it up as high as you want. 85 is default or whatever. And then there is one more, real quick before I get it out of this menu. There's a call speed, or call. Look ahead distance. Maximum collision detection. Call. I know. I'm sounding like a retard right now. See, now there's a call distance, or a call for, call it early or late. And what the hell is it? Closest point. Corner speed, pike distance. I know, deal with it. Just, sorry. Cycle, pickup, delivery. I put so many hundreds of hours into my saves that I forget how to do a lot of this stuff. Maximum trigger distance, trailer cover, full implements, and oh, there's another good one in here too. Tractor, show tooltips, sound. I know I'm going through all these fucking 2 or 3 times. Where the hell is it? Oh, you know what? It's not in this one. It's in... Okay. It's in this one. Alright, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so... Pre-call level. When your harvester is harvesting the grain or whatever it's doing, it'll actually call this when it's at 60% full. So that means this guy, when this is 60% full, it'll actually make a call for him to start driving through the field and try to get ready. Now sometimes that will really screw you up because this guy's on a fixed path to go around. This guy is just trying to catch up to him. And sometimes he'll trail behind him real nice and he'll wait, and then this guy will take a turn and all of a sudden he's following him and this guy's backing up and he will get in the way or he'll run into him. So what I like to do is keep the call distance up a little bit higher. 80, 85%, let's try 85. And then pre-call, so unloader, so call 2 sets for the second one, and active unloading. So this is another set, active unload harvesters while driving. I prefer to have this off because while it's driving, it's nice to be able to have that tractor coming alongside of it while it's, harvesting, and it can offload into the trailer while the tractor is on the side of it. But if you don't have a big enough field, it's going to run into problems where that tractor's running alongside of it and that harvester wants to make a turn and they just kind of start, crashing into each other. So I keep those off and the harvester will stop, it'll make a path, and then it'll call in the tractor to offload to it, and it just makes a whole lot simpler. So what we'll do here is let's set this up for just AI, and then I will speed up this portion until it gets to the fill level, and I'll show you the fill level under AI. So we'll just let it do its thing here. I'm just going to speed this up right here. Bing, bang, boom, and then the magic will happen. This is where the magic should happen. Now, it didn't call it exactly when it needed to. Sometimes that call level works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, everything's on. It's harvester. So it should probably wait. Yeah. See now, arm is coming out. Once it hits full extension, it's going to call this guy over. And then there is another function too. Let me just let this guy do his thing and I'll show you. And then there is another setting to where you can actually have this guy on load on the left or on the right. I think by default it's set to the left, but we'll go through the settings real quick and then hopefully I can find it right there. So now if you have field destruction on, this would be a good idea because you're just going to lose crops, which so now watch out, he's going to load up the trailer. And then now he will pick the closest point, which I'm assuming it should be here. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't work right in Autodrive. Its path detection and path creation isn't something that works all the time. So you should go out there and wait. Should. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, so it's going to do what it normally doesn't do. What it's supposed to do is go right back to 41 and have that as its staging area. So that's actually nice that it worked like that. Now, don't think it's going to work every single time. I think because I built something decent around this, that it's actually working the way it should. But it's not something you go, oh, it's working every single. No, it's not. You have to babysit it when it's on Autodrive. So that's really nice that this actually went back to where it was supposed to go to. And what was the setting I was talking about? So I think is it in this one? Play ball set. This is oh, here's another good one. So auto start helpers, if you turn these on, oops. So auto start helpers, what'll happen is, let's say you've got this field being harvested, you got your trailer waiting, everything's turned on, and you got to go and save your game, and you can just continue later. If this was turned off, you have to actually restart the harvesting process. When something's running on auto start, if it's on Autodrive, so your harvester won't restart because it's on AI. But if you have it on Autodrive, so the AI on Giants, it won't auto start it. But my tractor and trailer will still sit there waiting to be started, or waiting to for a harvest if I just press yes. So if I hit yes, if I were to save this game and come back, this is still going to be powered on. If I had it on no, it would automatically turn this. I would have to go back to the vehicle and turn it back on, and then return on the harvester. So I'll just speed this up here, let this field finish, and then I'm going to reset this field. And when I reset this field, I'm going to use Courseplay. I'm going to show you how Courseplay works a little bit better. Or I can make that trailer move back every single time versus like Autodrive, where it's kind of iffy. And it'll actually keep my trailer out of the way of the harvester, because sometimes, like, see how it's getting close to this edge? If they're backing up, this harvester may back up into it, or may take a turn into it, depending on how close quarters your entire field is compared to your row. And that matters, you know, with your node system, where, you know, stuff like this, or like you saw at a watch when I was fast forwarding it, to where I was deleting electric poles. I like to delete a lot of electric poles around my fields because they end up, the vehicle, it'll make its own little path to go get the load, but then what's going to happen is, because I have collision detection off, it'll actually run into one of those poles, and when collision detection is on, it's just like the Giants UI, where it goes, oh, there's something in my way, I won't go. I prefer to just delete a few things, have them out of the way, and I just don't worry about it once forward. That way, that tractor can go and do whatever the hell it wants. So I guess it was wrong for it to call this damn freaking trailer. So now it's going to create a little path. And let's see where this trailer goes after this, because it's not going to offload until it reaches 85%. That call level doesn't work all the freaking time for some reason. It's real iffy sometimes. It's a great program. Autodrive runs 70% of the time. But, you know, there's going to be times where you have to kind of babysit it, and that's where Courseplay comes in. And I have, when you run Autodrive, so Autodrive won't run everything. So when you combine Courseplay, which if you have Courseplay, and this combined makes one hell of a team. So it's at 97%. So now what it's going to do, and see, here's the issue that we're going to run into. So, not to do anything. It's good. So now it's going to go off-road, and it should go back to 41. And I forgot to show you I'll offload my reference to turn this up and down its approach speed to allow that harvester to get in a position where this doesn't run it at 100 miles an hour. If you have bigger fields and a strong tractor, that thing will run about 50, 60 miles an hour through the freaking field. And depending on the path that this has picked, that harvester may have picked the path right in its path, so you know it's not playing nicely all the time. And you know, for the most part, this is pretty much automated. That's really, really nice. I can go out doing other contracts, working on my land or whatever, and just kind of let this do its thing while it's making me money. So it's going to come here, it's going to offload, it's going to go back to 41, and then it's going to wait for that last call. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stop it, I'm going to reset the field, and then I'm going to turn on Courseplay and show you how Courseplay works with Autodrive. So let's go. Oh, damn. There. Alright, so. And so. I'm set for. Oh shit. Oops. Harvest ready. Alright, so now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to set up this tractor. And so I'm going to turn off now we're going to use Courseplay. Bring up Courseplay. Show you exactly how to set this up. So you're going to need this tractor somewhat close to the field. I don't know exactly how far I need this. So I'm going to try to keep him out of the way because we're not using Autodrive. We're going to use Courseplay. So what you're going to do is up here, click on this, and now we go to our field settings. So field position. Drag this over here. So this is my field. It'll outline it in white. There, so it knows the field. And then target position. Now target position is where I want my vehicle to be. So I'm just going to select over here. And then you can aim in any direction you want. I want it roughly there. Click. So that's that. Now go back. Now just back up and shoot out back to where it's supposed to go. Let's see. Okay, you know why? Because it automatically that's its staging mode, so automatically go there unless I need it to. So this should be a good position for it to stay out of the way. So this is on and running. Turn it off, turn it on. So this has to be on. Now what we're going to do with this is should just like crazy. So let's set this up here. I want your harvester to be in the field. Okay, now we'll set him up. Now we're going over here. Click on this. Field work settings. So my personal preferences are, so number of headlands, the more headlands you do, the less up and down work you have to do. So usually for larger fields, I like to go anywhere to 4 or more. If it's a small field, 1 to 2 is perfectly fine. So let's just do 4 headlands because that trailer is on the edge of that field. And that'll make it easier for him to not have to around and back up into or turn into. Actually, let's do 5. So number of round corners. So if your map has a lot of round corners, it's like this, you can count those as round corners, so that'd be 1 round corner. I generally, for the most part, just put 0. And what that'll do is just make a straight up and down cut, and when it has to take a corner, it'll build into that corner, it'll go into the corner, it'll back up, create another cut, back up, and then do the next headland as needed. Corner radius. So your corner radius right now is at 6, so it'll be something like this. 5 would be something like this. If you get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or whatever, I think it's up to 15, then it'll just go, it'll have a big round turn, and it'll miss all that without making it straight up and straight across. So what I do is, I usually just keep it at 5 for myself, play with it, and you'll find out whatever your settings that you like are. And center direction, counterclockwise. The center direction is counterclockwise. Now this is something that you may want to set in advance. So if he's going around this clockwise, what he'll do is at the end, so we're going to start here. So, you know, if I were to start him here, his first cut road is going to go from here, and then here, and then here, and he'll have all this open space. If you have crop destruction on, it's nice. If you don't, it doesn't matter. He'll have a nice place for that trailer to come through and off of. The other direction, he'll start here, and he'll work this way. So that's all personal preference. I just do counterclockwise, even roll width deactivated. Keep most of it at its default settings, and we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to generate a field. So once we click generate field, take a second. So this is the field that I generated. See, here's all my headlands. It's going to start here and it's going to stop there. So see how I built all these extra headlands? That way my car over here, my tractor and trailer, has enough space. Because if I had headlands or the center roads going all the way up to here, which is 1, he's going to want to turn, and he may turn into it. So it's all kind of like pre-planning. guide to do it and for you to let it go. So it generated. You can start the job from here, and I'll show you why you don't do that all the time. So back out of here. So now you see a little start here. This is where he wants to start. See how he's ahead here? It's going to miss this whole section, and also we have nearest point. So because on this map, the next nearest point is for this road to go up here to the second headland. It will actually not do the first one because it's already past this point. It's going to want to go this way. So you have this little eyeball here to show you all your paths. And what is actually going on. Oh, watch it. It'll probably go this way. But what I'm going to do is I go to first, click on these. First waypoint, back up just a little bit. And then hit play. Play. And now it's going to go ahead and do this field. So what I'll do is I'll just fast forward this here. And then when it calls the trailer, I'll show you exactly how the trailer gets. It'll automatically get crawled, it'll offload, and it'll create a better path than Autodrive has. See now, even though it says there is no same target, don't worry about that. We already got everything good to go. So we'll just sit over here and wait for him to do what he needs, and then I'm just going to sit here and make sure that he doesn't get hit. And this is, yeah, so Courseplay is on here. He's waiting for him to call him. So I'm just going to fast forward it. Once it starts up again, then I'll come back to talking for long periods of time and sound like a retard. Alright, so it's getting ready to get filled up here. And so what I'm going to show you real quick here is the harvester. Oh, that's right, we don't have Autodrive on. Damn it. Never mind. So this is the one that we were going to slow it down with, but because it's on Courseplay, it should automatically build a perfect path to it and then exit the field, come back here when it's needed. Now, the only thing with Courseplay and this is this will not automatically go to the grain mill. You'll have to manually set that. So the alternative to that is, so there she goes. So now the alternative to doing this, to have it automatically offload your harvest, is you'd have your tractor hooked up with like an auger wagon. So the auger wagon would be set just like this is with the Courseplay. The auger wagon would come up, harvester would offload it to auger wagon. The auger wagon would go to the side of the field while you have this sitting at one of these at a 41 number. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So what it'll do is it'll automatically, once that auger wagon gets full to a point, it will offload into the trailer that is on Autodrive. And then what will happen is this, once this trailer gets full, because it's on Autodrive, it will then go to the grain mill, come back, and then wait to be reloaded again by the auger wagon. I think I might do that really quick here, just to show you how that would work in conjunction with the auger wagon. So, let me hear, auger wagons, where the hell are they at? Forage wagons. Where are the auger wagons? I probably went right past it. There we go. And so we'll just do this by, yes, okay. So now this is going to wait until it has a good path. And it should automatically go back. Well, I guess not. Okay, so that was the staging point. Alright, so I was 90% right, 10% wrong. Don't judge me. So this is staying out of the path of the harvester, so it knows it's not going to be here because it already has a predetermined course that it built to make sure that it stays out of the way. So what I'll do here is I'm going to get this auger wagon, and I was going to show you something real quick with the cultivator as well. I know this video is going to be long, but it's a lot of information that people never, looking through YouTube videos and all that stuff and Reddit posts, Facebook posting for years has really, really been helpful. But at the same time, this may not. Okay, yeah, that's good. But at the same time, has playing with it, learning how to do things on my own has done for me. Spending hours reading, and not that any of the stuff doesn't help. You know, Facebook posts, YouTube videos, but yeah, just playing with it and seeing what works and what doesn't is more useful than going off saying, "Oh, just do this and this and that." You know, it is what it is with this thing. But it's like I keep saying it's more useful. So what we'll do here is, while that is doing that, let's do this. I'll turn this off. So let's send this. Alright, so let's send this to 41. I want this. Oh, okay. So I want this one to go 41, grain mill. So now this node is really far away, so it has to plan around. So, since we have water, now let's do this. So the auger wagon, you want to set it just like I did with the trailer before. But this set this up to so target position there, that's good. Field position there. Oh yeah, okay. Combine, so start back. Alright, so now it automatically went in position. Now get this guy. So I'm just going to turn this off. So I want him to be facing the other way, because otherwise it's going to do a whole big loop around this freaking course. So setting this up properly, set and forget it. That's everything. So, alright. So here. Okay, so now harvester is going to, this is going to offload into here, this will offload into here, this will go around, offload, come back and wait for this to fill this up again. And just change something here. Alright, so empty. Let's try percent. Turn it off, turn it back on. That's weird because I already have. Yeah, so that should give you a full one. Alright, so I will fast forward this at this point here, and then we will switch back and show you how everything works. you see how, and I forgot, so Autodrive has its setting and Courseplay has its own setting. I forgot to set it to stop, to offload. So I activated the stop, and you see how they kind of almost, you know, getting in together. You're into a little fight there in the field. It didn't cause an issue, but it could knock the harvester off its path, and it could miss a whole row. So basically, it worked out fine. I changed the setting, and most of the settings work on the fly, so it was pretty much no worries there. Next time, the harvester will stop, offload its dead trail, and then trail, and then the trail will never run. So now, this will find a path, and it's going to turn around, and it should offload into the trailer flawlessly, and then go back to its start. And Courseplay is actually really good at finding paths, so this should work pretty well. Good approach, nice distance. Comes out. And yeah, trailers are a little tall, that's fine, it'll work. We're gonna have a small trailer, but it works. Sometimes the pipe will clip through the trailer, but it's working, so that's all that matters. So I would probably pick a bigger auger wagon or a smaller trailer to work in tandem. Because if you're just out doing other stuff, who cares if your trailer's making 20 trips? Gas-wise, yeah, big deal. But you know, as long as it's doing what it's doing, and you don't have this set to offload every time it's at 40%. And see, now here goes our trailer. Now it's going to offload. Yeah, so as long as as long as it works for you, it doesn't matter. I think there's a bigger auger wagon. So the auger wagon should go back to where, yep, going right back to a start point. And there should be a bigger auger wagon. Where the hell are the auger wagons in here? Forage wagons. I'm probably scrolling right past it. Is it under trailers? Auger wagons. There we go. Alright, so yeah, so I picked this one right here. This one would be the better with the extended reach. These are alright, but these are huge. It takes a lot more horsepower. So I should have actually picked this one. It's a little bit taller versus, see, you can tell the height difference right there. So this would have been the better deal to use that auger wagon with. And then wheels don't really matter unless you worried about crop destruction. And so these guys are just sitting there waiting, ready to go. And I think I can call it. And then what I wanted to show you was, yeah, this is already an hour and 22 minutes, but with me speeding some of this up, it won't be so long. But hopefully it helps you a lot, and that's all that really matters. So let's do this, and we'll buy that. Yep, boom. All right, so, and you don't have to have these notes showing. I'm just showing. I just have them just to show you. All right, so what is this field in front of us? Oh, we'll go ahead and buy this field. We'll buy this. Alright, so another setting, especially with cultivators, is the way that your tree sets up on the field. So, and I'm going to use Courseplay for this just to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my field first, field work settings. Headlands, let's just do one, and then I'm going to fast forward through some of this. Then I'm going to show you, actually I'm just going to set it up right now. So number of headlands, sharp headland, run, circle, 5, headland direction, Alright, so tool settings. When you're cultivating, seeding, anything that has to deal with you lifting, even harvesting, lifting or lowering one of your tools onto the ground. So I like to raise the tools, lower the tools. I like to raise them late, so it means when I'm cultivating, it won't leave a small section on the ground, and then lower the tools early. So what you'll find out is it'll start cultivating for you, but then it'll leave like little strips, missed little strips, because it just lifted too early, or it wasn't set, or it was raising too early. So you have this set up right here. So field work settings. So generate field work course, and if you have them lift late and raise late and lower early, it'll make this look a lot cleaner, and you won't any mispatches. That way, so when you go to seed or do whatever, you're not going back and doing extra work. So that's there. So let me show you here nearest way. So nearest waypoint, I automatically just it's going to go to the first waypoint that it's connected to. Just speed this guy up. And see, because I did the nearest waypoint, it didn't start where it was supposed to start. So now it actually thinks it's done with that first headlamp because of how I started it. So now it's going to go over here and it's going to start doing the up and down moves, which is not what you want to do, because then you got to restart it. And so let's turn it off. The first waypoint, fold the tool, or you could just drive it. So let's unfold the tool. This is faster. Let's go over here. And you don't have to have these lines on. Just get it behind there. Bada bing, bada boom. And you're going to see it's lowered early before that. So it's actually going to be better that you have it lower early and raise late. This way you have no missed sections. Because you'll see like this section here, this section here, and it'll only be from like here to here. And you have it set up like I just showed you. Then you ain't got to go back and, oh geez, I missed freaking 16 little freaking swaths. So it is what it is. And I think that was about it. I think we can end that here. So, and I think I've answered my question. It's also retarded. / retarded. Oh, so one other setting. Let me show you something here. So let's say you have a load in your trailer. Let's go ahead and put a load in it. And right here. Oh, damn it. Fill all dar was right there. Alright, so let's fill this up. And I'm gonna turn this off here. So let's say you have a load and let's just say it's 50%. So what we'll do, let's see, it wants to offload. Let me see if we can just fill empty. Alright, so set. Just do 500. Alright, so back. Alright, so we're here at the loading point, right? So it's offloaded, everything, the whole field is done, but it doesn't have enough to trigger I need to go to the grain mill because this isn't 85%, 90%, 100 full. So what you do is you press this over here, drive to loading point. Bada bing, bada boom. This is automatically going to drive, offload your grain, whatever you got. This is the next arrow. I'll show you that one real quick too. So that way, when you have a small load, you don't think that you have to manually drive this thing over to a grain point. This button right here will send this to go and offload it, and then it'll go back to your destination. Or you can set it to go back to your farm or whatever points that you set on the map. It's like when I showed you in that first little small video that I had, I have a ton of these. I have these all over my map. I have for every single field, for my sawmills, for my pickup points, for my load points. I make a ton of them pre-parks, just whatever I need. So I have destinations to go to throughout the entire fucking map. The more you have, the easier it is for you to get around the map. Don't skip. So like I showed you, my map had every single road done. This takes a long fucking time to get done. This map, not so much because it's kind of small. But the more of these little destination points you have, the easier it's going to be. So, and then you also got to figure out where do I want to place that destination point to make it sound, or to make it simple for me to offload. You may actually build a road. Now try not to build them through the fields. But if you have a section here where you can make this road come through here, and then you have a, let's say you set a destination 43 here and 45 there. That'd be perfect. And then if you can, you connect it, you make your own little section, kind of like right from there. You make it here, you can go onto this road, this way, that way, and then, it's just where you have yourself a route around all these sections to make it easier. And by doing that, so when you go through, it just makes it easier for you to get to, I'm fumbling my words. It just makes it easier to set up your Courseplay, Autodrive, or whatever. Send them to where you want to send them. Like I said, try not to put them in your fields, but if you have to, that's perfectly fine. But remember that when you have a harvester or a tractor and a trailer, it's going to want to go to the closest point, and that may screw something up or it runs into something, so so like we got field 2 here, it's cultivating, and what I would do is field 2 looks better for this point, would be probably be better set here or here, and field 3 would probably be a nice little path to go into here and set here. If I can make that road go all the way through here and I could cut through the field, that's no problem there, but having a path like through the field, that's a big no-no. So I would make a road right through here, connect it with this road, inlet, outlet, and then have it go, back up to my grain mill or wherever I need to go. Same thing over here, 3736, you got a nice big road here. What I would do is I would construct this road here all the way through, but I'd also, if I could, make a road here and I connect it with this road. Same thing here, road here, if I could connect a road around here and then to this road, and same thing throughout the map. And you'll figure out other stuff on your own for the most part. You could message me or whatever, or I generally don't do a lot of social media, but when I am on social media, I try to help out people. As retarded as I do something. Here's a good thing. So basically, field is done. This guy's done. Because he doesn't have a full trailer, he's just going to sit there. So I don't know if I can. So I should be able to raise it empty. Let's go down. So 40%. Yeah, so this, because he's at such 65% wide. Which is weird. It should have automatically went and offloaded. See now, yeah, sometimes the stuff just isn't. Maybe because the field work is done. I think that's how it goes. Usually, you try not to offload these early. You try to let it get full to 100%. And that's what probably screwed this up. And also because I set it to 40% and the field is finished. There we go. That's what happened. So, not bullshitting you. So because the field was finished, this job was finished. So that's why you have to manually come over here and finish up. It is what it is sometimes. The hour that you save from doing this all yourself, and going
sell everything, or even having this take all this to your silo and offloading, come back. That saved you a ton of time. It went flawlessly. You didn't have to worry about the game's AI, running around, going in the freaking ditches, hitting walls. This worked the way it was supposed to. It's just that I set the empty went over so low that when the job was finished, it wasn't able to say, all right, you need to go over there. It just said the job's finished, we're all done. So that happens. It is what it is. And then, so see how this guy, it should be perfect every single time. Nice clean path. And then as soon as I get to the end of this road, I'm just going to end it here. And then, sorry I had to put up. But once again, I hope this really helped. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on a basic message, DMs, whatever you want to do. I don't do no social media, so if I can help, I can help. If I don't respond, don't take it as an insult. It just, I'm generally one who doesn't check messages very much. So, let's see how this works here. Nice and clean. The tool's going to come in late. It's going to go over to the headline, and that worked perfect. Nice and clean. You ain't got to worry about coming back. Alright, so I am out of here. Alright, have a good one.